Camilo Gonzalez, who's the area representative for East St. George, will pass by shortly because they're still at cabinet. And when he gets here, we will just fit him into the program. You all know who I am. I am Winfield Tanis Abbott. I am the Master of Ceremonies for this evening's proceeding. We will now call on Caleb Wills, who will now open us in a word of prayer. Let us welcome Caleb.
Good evening, everybody. Can we all bow our heads in reverence of God? Father God, I thank you for this day. Thank you for you all. I thank you for sending your Son, Jesus Christ, to die for our sins. Father, we invite your presence into this camp, and I pray that you take full symposium of this entire camp. Father, I want you to bless Coach Turner and Coach Roy. Give them the clear vision and give them everything to impact us and make sure that their work bear the fruit to all of Mavrix players. Father God, I pray for those on their way, that they are coming, that bring them safe and keep them safe. Father God, I pray for the Prime Minister. Bless them, keep as they are doing well, keep their minds on, and give them clear vision to do as they are continuing to do. Father God, opportunities with and Mavrix gets a scholarship. I hope that we camp
The pastors coming out of Maverick basketball team. So you will keep standing as we sing the which will the Grenadines. We are very close to the seawater, and now is hurricane season. We won't make that mistake at all. We will sing the first verse and the chorus. That will be accepted.
Send land so beautiful, with joyful hearts we pledge to thee our loyalty and love and vow to keep you ever free. Whatever future brings, our faith will see us through. May peace reign from shore to shore, and God bless and keep us true. I rule now fair and blessed Isle, your mountains high, so clear and green, a home to too short. And God bless and keep us true.
Thank you very much. You may now have your seat. Oh yes, keep standing as well. Give yourself much for that, and we must thank Miss Barrow for putting up those anthems for us. So I am going to set the protocol, and even after you come up as a speaker and you don't remember who the persons are, you can just say protocol has already been established. That will be accepted. So one of the companies who's sponsoring us, he wants the coach, the president of the St. Vincent Basketball Federation, just to have a photo up because he has to leave now. So when that is done, we are going to go straight into the program. 1, 2. Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, so Mr. Richard Cato, coach, founder, Mavrix basketball team. Mr. Jomadine May, coordinator of sports and physical activities in the Ministry of Sports. Miss Suzette Jackson, female president of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines National Basketball Federation. Mr. Cameron Turner, coach, Eastern Men's Basketball Team, Arizona, USA, and his beautiful wife and daughters. Members of the media, basketball players, ladies and gentlemen, and also members of the St. Vincent of the Mavrix Basketball Association, a pleasant welcome to each and every one of you. And also I see we have Mr. Foster Hannibal. He's the man, we will say, the mayor of Caliacqua, and if by extension, East St. George. So ladies and gentlemen, our first speaker will be founder coach of the Mavrix basketball team, Mr. Richard Cato. Please welcome him as he comes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Protocol has already been established. There's no need for me to run all these long names, but thank you so much, Mr. Master of Ceremony, and thank you very much, everyone, for attending today's function. Indeed, it's a privilege and an honor for me to stand here as coach, head coach of Mavrix basketball team. Before I go further, I must apologize for my other coaches. Coach Michael, he was running up and down today trying to get things together. He had to run back home to get himself prepared to come here. And the coach Troll, I love to call him by that nickname, Troll, which is Jamal Oliver. He is still on the job because he has to work in Beckwith tomorrow, so they're trying to put a number of things together in place. But I must say, a pleasant welcome to our dear Madam President of St. Vincent and the Grenadines National Basketball Federation, and to our esteemed coach, Coach Cameron Turner and his family. Without you, today's proceedings would not have been. This symposium marks an official opening of the Mavrix basketball team International Basketball Summer Camp. We are delighted to partner with Mr. Anthony Roy, Collegiate Placement Services, and his professional team of coaches from the United States of America. One of our main pillars of the Mavrix basketball team is to develop the game of basketball with the main focus on the sponsorship and the scholarship for the players. Mavrix basketball team was established in 1998. Interestingly, Mavrix basketball team was established right on my block on Liban Street in Caliacqua. I recall as a youngster when I was playing with the then Caliacqua United basketball team. To improve my shots, Coach Turner, I erected a pole right next in front of my house on the road. I got permission from the government, and I erected a pole for me to improve my shots because I was a very poor shooter. I was a very good defender and rebounder, but my shots were way off. So I erected that pole mainly to help me to improve on my shots. However, every afternoon when I start practicing my shots before I go down to the main court, the children from the Caliacqua Anglican Primary School would pass across and listen to the sound of the ball as it comes through the chain net. And by listening to that sound, they were fascinated. And they thought it fitting, why not Richie, because that's my play name, why not you coach us? That's how the team began in 1998. And from then on, we have grown to a number of about 60 plus players in 4 divisions. We have the female division, we also have the under 18 boys division, We have an A division for players 19 to 25, and the senior division for players over 25 years. Apart from participating in the National Basketball Tournament, we have participated in several club championships in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We also participated in regional tournaments in St. Lucia and the Trinidad and Tobago. In 2023 and 2024, Mavrix basketball team was honored to have participated in 3 international summer camps in the United States of America. One at Dover Sportsplex in New Jersey, the other at Carrie Gabe Recreational Center in Brooklyn, and one at Mitchell's Gym in Long Island. Interestingly, one of the coaches from Mitchell's Gym was in St. Vincent in the month of June. He came on business for 4 days, and he thought it fitting to run an afternoon clinic with Mavrix, and we were delighted to have him. Today, we have broadened our scope. We have gone to leaps and bounds. We have brought Coach Cameron Turner, the head coach of the Eastern men's basketball team in Arizona, USA. And he's here today. He's going to be playing a pivotal role in this camp, and we thank him for being here with his wife and the family. On the 24th of November, 2024, Team Mavrix was invited to a similar program of this nature. We were invited to the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College, where we were met with the facilitator from the University of Indianapolis, United States of America, and the American Embassy. From that symposium, Mavrix basketball team met our dear distinguished guest at the head table, Miss Tamara Barrow. And she introduced us to her academy, which is headed by Coach Anthony Roy, who is absent today. And he's only absent for one reason, and I apologize for his absence. Coach Anthony Roy was at Piarco International Airport. He flew from New Jersey to Piarco International, Trinidad. Then from there, he was to come over to St. Vincent for a similar program, then on to St. Lucia for another part of the same program that we're having here. But he encountered some minor technical problems at the airport in Trinidad. However, I can assure you, ladies and gentlemen, that Coach Anthony Roy will be here with us on Friday, God spare life. Okay? Now, Tamara Barrow introduced us, as I said, to the program, ARSASSA, Anthony Roy Sports Academy Soccer and Scholarship Program. Right? I hope I got that right. And from then on, as I said earlier, we are here today. This program, this symposium, is geared specifically for the development of players on Team Mavrix, with the hope that we, the players on Team Mavrix, will be scouted by our esteemed coach for a scholarship in the United States of America. So I take this opportunity to encourage each and every player on Team Mavrix to give of your best. Play hard, play smart, take the training well from coach. I too would be learning something from him because he's a senior coach to me and I'm happy to have him here. So I too would be learning because he would be running a session for all our coaches on Saturday if life lasts. So there are 1 or 2 things I'll be learning from the American setting, which I'll be able to impart onto the players of Mavrix. And also, we are hoping to invite other coaches from basketball to be part of that setting. This program is just the first of its kind in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which is organized by Team Mavrix. However, this program would not only be one of its kind. Next year, please the Lord, and beyond, it is our intention to partner with volleyball, as I see a volleyball coach here, football, and I'm also seeing a football coach here, athletics, swimming, and any other sporting discipline to propel the scholarship program for young athletes in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. On Saturday, Coach Anthony Roy will be here, and he will be running the football segment along with another coach that would be here as well from overseas, who's in St. Vincent, but the name just slipped me, my apology on that. Our clinic begins in earnest on Thursday afternoon. The girls would begin from 3:30 to 5:30, and all the boys from 6 to 8, right at the Calco Hard Court, the hub for basketball in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Now, some persons may not like to hear that, but it's a fact. Without Calco Hard Court basketball, as I can see my dear former vice president from the Calco Invitational Basketball Tournament, Mr. Roger Goldie, is sitting in the audience. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. The director of the Division of Sports, Mr. May, is also here, and he knows exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm seeing my dear Foster Hannibal, the mayor of Calco, the longest serving mayor of Calco, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They know exactly what I'm talking about in terms of the Calco Invitational Basketball Tournament, the mecca for sports. So I can assure you now, by next year, please the Lord, apart from a similar program of this nature, the Calco Invitational Basketball Tournament will be reintroduced to not just Calco, but St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Now, to reiterate, the sole purpose for this symposium is to develop athlete players to be scouted for an academic basketball scholarship with the hope of them being drafted in the NBA basketball tournament. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
That was Mr. Richard Cato, the coach and founder of Mavrix basketball team. We will now call on the president of the St. Vincent and Grenadines National Basketball Federation, Miss Suzette Jackson. Let us give her a warm welcome.
Pleasant good afternoon. I'm not a public speaker, so bear with me. Protocol being established. Pleasant good afternoon for everyone. I would like to commend, firstly, the Mavrix basketball team for this initiative in collaboration with the ARSASSA Academy. It's one that is needed and is timely in its approach. For those who may not know, as Winfield said, I am Suzette Jackson, the president of St. Vincent and Grenadines Basketball Federation. This is my second year in tenure. As Kate indicated, the symposium is first of similar in nature, but something similar to it has been occurring over the years in terms of basketball and scholarships. Basketball is a sport that is loved across the globe, and as I said, I applaud the effort of this program and anything that contributes towards the development of the game of basketball, and more specifically, youth development, because without the youths, there's no continuity, there's no longevity of the game, and hence, it's important for us to have developmental programs as such. But however, there are several factors that must be considered in order for us to have effective developmental programs. And these factors include not only technical development, but infrastructure. That is something that is lacking across the country. We may find a lot of concrete structures, but there's no proper equipment, there's no upright, and we're lacking. And I'm hoping that from out of this, that there may be some form of assistance, be it from outside or the local government, in terms of basically outfitting these I see the directors looking at me. In terms of outfitting these hard coats with the appropriate facility that will meet FIBA specifications. I know Kate indicated that Calico is the hub of basketball, but we're under the umbrella of the Symposium Basketball Federation, because they're affiliated members. So we are the head, and basically they are affiliates. But Montrose is the home of basketball. That's where basketball, basically most of the developmental programs will take place, and traditionally, that's how it has been. But I must comment, Calico has always been a live part when it comes to basketball development. And thanks to you, Mavrix, that you have kept basketball alive in St. Vincent and Grenadines, and I applaud you for that. As I indicated, infrastructure is very important when it comes to development, not only in communities, but in schools. It's also essential in terms of quoted development. With the limited resources that the Federation has access to FIBA, the Olympic Solidarity, and the National Olympic Committee, we have done whatever we can in regards of providing different communities with portables, balls, and even technical training programs, maybe in referee, table officials, and coaching. I must encourage you as the head of Mavrix that there are endless opportunities when it comes to technical development. There are proposals that could be submitted to, well, once sanctioned by the Federation, to the Olympic Solidarity, their funding available to the OS. And we should basically capitalize on that. Historically, I must say that over the years, Basketball Federation basically has a scholarship program that has been very successful. Myself has been a recipient of a basketball scholarship, and we have, over the years, basically given scholarship to a number of players, male and female, that has now played in WNBA and WNBA and the NBA and other parts of the country, of the world. So there's endless opportunity to basketball. If you may not be a WNBA player or NBA player, but academically, there's much to be gained from such. It releases some of the stress of the financial burden on your parents if you're able to basically source a basketball scholarship. So I want you guys, encourage you guys to give up your best. Don't just focus on, I have to basically show out for the coach, but play your game. Play how you know how to play, and basically what it will materialize once you basically put whatever you learn into practice. As I said, so basketball developmental programs is essential. And basically, not only that too, there's a long-term developmental program that we may have to capitalize and use it in order for us to continue to see basketball develop across the country. And that will only be effective with proper infrastructure. I'm reiterating the need for infrastructure because we have a lot of hard courts and we don't have uprights, and that is lacking, and that is something that we need to adjust as an executive, as a body, as a government. It's something that needs to be basically addressed immediately. Once again, thanks again to Mavrix and Mr. Cato for helping keeping the game alive. Your dedication and hard work is appreciated. As the head of the executive body of the Basketball Federation, we will continue in our efforts to revive the game of basketball, but it cannot be done successfully without assistance from you as the affiliates, stakeholders, and the government. I'll encourage us to basically be purpose-driven, play a more present, progressive, and consistent game of basketball for the next few days as the coaches are here and going forward, and be guided under the strategic plan, the motto of the SBG Basketball Federation, rebound. And rebound doesn't mean just physically rebound. Rebound means because we are all aware that for the last few years, basketball has been a bit dormant. And when you speak about rebound, not just when the ball goes up and the shot doesn't make it to get the ball, it's basically whatever position you're in. You're playing defense and you got beat, rebound. Basically, rebound could be used in all layman terms. It's basically whatever circumstances that may arise, basically make the necessary adjustment and basically be successful in that regard. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jackson. And we move right into the program. So we will now call on the Coordinator of Sports and Physical Activities within the Ministry of Sports, Mr. Jomadine May. Let us give him a warm welcome.
Pleasant good evening. Following the instruction of the MC, protocol already established. Before I begin my speech, let me first, Richie, I want to affectionately call you Richie. Sitting there and listening to Richie saying since 1998, I started to recall that's when I had hair. That's when I was in grammar school. I was at grammar school, right? I was actually doing CXC exams, right? So Richie, I'm going to give you your flowers now. And to be honest, your effort, I think it needs to be recognized more, right? Because that is a very tremendous effort, and you have continued the work. So please give Mr. Richard Kate a round of applause, right? Now, let me now apologize for being late. I believe in time. I think time helps to discipline us. I think time helps to show respect for each other. So I had a prior meeting, so apologies for being late. I bring greetings on behalf of the Minister of Sports. Actually, it's actually Ministry of Housing, Informal Settlements, Youth and Sports, right? So his Honorable Dr. Orande Brewster, so greetings from him, greetings from the Division of the Division of Sport and Physical Activities, right? So I endorse these initiatives, right? To be honest, I am a bit disheartened because, Richie, you may agree with me, and Mr. Tanis, that I'm a bit disheartened that these young players, they are not really experiencing basketball the way it was. The way basketball was at Calico, it was awesome. It was a community building tool, right? We all came out for basketball, right? There was a drive behind basketball. The name Mavrix, most of the players I know from Calico, some of them have migrated and so forth. So you, the young players, you are part of actually a legacy in terms of a team, right? Many teams came, they have gone on. I remember, as I said, even you see where you have the fisheries. I don't know if the youngsters have all there. They had fans all over. It was tremendous, and I encourage you that even though you are young, you can help in the rebuilding process. Actually, you should become a part of the rebuilding process. I was listening to the prayer of the young man, and I like your ambition, right? I like the fact that you strive for the stars, and that should be our goal. However, in terms of the sport, I recently started at the Division of Sport. I started in June, but I was at the Ministry of Education, right? And I remember I had to do a presentation in terms of the job opportunities in sport. And believe you me, right, I was so surprised when I did my research. I think I found about 75 different job opportunities in sport. There are more opportunities in sport than in medicine and all these other fancy fields, right? Now, this brings me to say that while some of you may have the passion to play the game requires more than just players. The game requires technicians such as referees, such as statisticians. So, Richie, I'm not telling you how to tailor your program, but I would love these things to be factored in. How can we provide more technicians to the game to ensure that you know, it survives, that is sustainable? So probably while having your program, some of the players can be open-minded to you know, learning the skill of becoming referees, because the game cannot survive without these other technicians. For our American friends, we are grateful, right? At the Division of Sport, these initiatives are welcome. Unfortunately, the sport is not, as I said, I'm disheartened because where basketball was, right, as many of us would know, right, I think we can take it back. I think with the ambition with the youngsters and with your help, these assistants, we welcome them at the Division of Sport. Currently, we are also looking at initiatives that can help the different associations. We are in the process of looking at developing what we call zonal development groups, where we are looking to target each sport within the school's framework, where we would actually have each sport having about 162 players each, where we can form development programs for them. So I know you will continue to work with Mr. Richard Cato. He's a good guy, as we know, right? And for the players, continue to give of your best. I'm looking at Jan here, and I know Jan, let me say, Jan knows us be swell. Yeah, that we have a saying that when you do well, you swell your mother's nose, right? So please continue to do that. Please continue to remember sport is about mutual respect. It's actually about sportsmanship. It's not a selfish thing. It's not a selfish thing. And please, as I said, you are not too young to ask yourself, what is your contribution to help revitalizing and rebuilding the sport? So Mavrix, the Division of Sport, as I said, we endorse these initiatives. Our doors are open, so if any assistance is needed, and continue the good work. And friends, we welcome you once again. I mean, you're here to work, but try and enjoy some of our sun and sand. We have a lot, as you can see. So it is a pleasure, and thanks once again.
Thank you very much, Mr. May, and I hope that the management of Mavrix will take the opportunity to foster a good relationship with the Division of Sports. So we now have in our presence the area representative, the Honorable Camilo Gonzalez. He's the area representative for East St. George, and we would like to call him now to come and give a speech. Minister, and I believe he ran out of cabinet to get here, so bear with him. Let us give him a warm welcome.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to everyone. I want to welcome, of course, our visitors and guests. Welcome to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I want to welcome all the talented and gifted young men and women of the Mavrix basketball team, and of course, all of the well-wishers who are here. There are a lot of wonderful examples of talented basketball players who have succeeded at the highest level from the Caribbean. And when I was your age, it was a guy called Patrick Ewing, who was Jamaican. And over the years, we've had a number of wonderful basketball players from the Caribbean. Tim Duncan was from the Caribbean. Currently, the Thompson twins, Amen and Ashur, are Jamaican. Shea Gillis-Alexander, the MVP of the league, is Antiguan. And there are a number of talented players throughout the history of the league. We have our own Adonal Foyle, who was a successful basketball player with the San Antonio Spurs. And in the WNBA, we had Sancho Little and Sophia. But we have a strong history of basketball here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines at the highest level. We have a strong history of successful basketball players from around the Caribbean at the highest level. And I point that out to say that there is no doubt that the talent to succeed in basketball exists here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I think that it's also fair to say that the love of the game is very, very strong in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I had more people talking to me about the NBA Finals a couple months ago than I did talking about cricket. And that's, as a cricketer, it's a little unfortunate, but it's the reality, is that people are very, very much engaged in basketball, which is now a global sport. It's an international sport. And we have examples to which we can aspire. What we do not yet have, and this is where Mavrix becomes very important, is the infrastructure to take that raw talent and make it something, to polish that diamond, to make sure that we shine and we excel. And that infrastructure comes in a number of different forms. Of course, you have to have facilities, you have to have hard courts, you have to have organizations, you have to have coaches, and you have to have people who love the game and who give the opportunity to young people to strive and excel in the sport. And this is the perfect storm. This is the happy confluence of all of those things. The hard court at Calico is repeatedly upgraded. Actually, we're holding off a bit of an upgrade now to allow for this this tournament, this facility to take place, because that is going to be the site of the basketball for the Winlock games. That's going to be the site, and there was a little bit of a hiccup there because the left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing in terms of use of the facility. So we're holding off a little bit to make sure that you guys can have your event. We have people like Richard Cato who've consistently kept basketball alive in Calico, even when people had moved on and done other things. He's had multiple trips to the United States, multiple encounters. A number of you from Mavrix have already traveled to the United States in some of these basketball camps. And he had the wonderful idea this year of, instead of gathering a few of you up and taking you to the US, why not bring the US to you, so that you will see, you'll have the training here, but the rest of the community will also get to benefit from the presence of these coaches and get a little bit of that basketball fever, which is an important thing here. So I want to congratulate Richard, his entire support staff within Calico, within Mavrix, and thank our coaches for coming in. I understand Coach Cameron had an excellent year last year, 29 wins. Yeah, I remember these things. And so it's somebody who knows basketball. And so I think you're in good hands. He's done an excellent job with his program, and I think he'll do an excellent job with you. We know the raw talent, the raw athleticism is there, the love of the game is there. We just need a little technical tweaking and a little technical polish, and that's what we have here. The Mavrix basketball team has been at the forefront of basketball over the years in Calico. It has kept basketball alive in the region. It has worked well with other basketball hotspots around St. Vincent and the Grenadines, including in Canawan, which, as we know, is a basketball hotspot traditionally. And I think that these types of activities can only strengthen the game, can only strengthen the love for the game. And once you start loving basketball, you never stop. When I went to university, I didn't know anything about basketball. But I went to university in the United States. I went to a university called Temple University. And at the time, there was a great coach there called John Chaney. And there were some players there, a guy called Mark Macon, a guy called Eddie Jones, a guy called Aaron McKee. All of them went on to play in the NBA. This is before your time. You wouldn't know these names. But these guys, we had interactions. We were in the same classes and the rest of it. And I got into basketball. I started loving basketball. I became a fan of the Philadelphia 76ers. They had a guy called Charles Barkley. They had a guy called Rick Mahorn. I'm trying to remember these guys are a million years old. I'm talking to these, Hershey Hawkins and these kind of guys. And you never forget them. You never forget when you first fell in love with basketball, but you also never fall out of love with basketball. And once you've started, it's a wonderful journey. It's a wonderful journey for athleticism. It's a wonderful journey for teamwork. It's a wonderful journey for discipline. It's a wonderful journey for community building. And it's a wonderful journey for all of the possibilities that basketball can have for you going forward. The government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is a big supporter of athletics as a means to a better life. So we have supported athletes who have demonstrated promise. We've helped them with university scholarships and university education and to go on and try and do better. We've done the same with football players at the collegiate level. We've done the same thing with tennis players at multiple levels. And those Vincentians whose names I said earlier, particularly the ones who made it to the WNBA, we have also supported them financially, academically, and otherwise. And if you show promise, as athletes, as officials, one day as coaches, we will also support you. You are on a wonderful track if you stick with it. Basketball is, as I understand it, because I can't even hit a free throw, but yeah, you need some raw physical tools. But what separates mediocre players from good players and good players from great players and great players from legends is how much you give to the game, how much you commit to it, how much you practice, how much discipline you have, how you're the first person on the court to practice and the last person to leave after everybody else has gone, how you listen to your coaches. And all of those things are skills and talents that will serve you well in life. Discipline, hard work, commitment, listening to people who know, not thinking that you know it all already. Those are all things that will help you to grow as individuals. So I'm happy that you're here. I'm thrilled to see all the young men and women from Mavrix and all the supporters who are here as well. And I know that this program, it's more than a camp. This program is going to be wonderful. I look forward to participating as much as I can and watching you guys grow and learn throughout this process. Welcome all. I wish this program all the best. And I'm absolutely thrilled that Richard and Mavrix are going to bring off another successful event at the Calico Hardcourt. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister, for taking time off from your busy schedule to bring remarks. So we are moving into our program. So Mr. Cameron Turner, head men's basketball coach, Eastern Arizona College. Cameron Turner currently serves as the head men's basketball coach at Eastern Arizona College, where he has quickly built one of the most successful programs in the region. In just 3 seasons at the helm, Turner has led the Monsters to a 76-20 record, .791, back-to-back ACC-AC Conference and NJCAA Region 1 Championships 2024-2025. And the national ranking as high as number 16. The 2025 season was historic for ESC men's basketball. The team went 29-4 overall and 16-2 in conference play, marking the program's back-to-back conference titles since 1994-95. The Monsters earned 28 NJCCA wins, third most in the nation. I guess he will explain what all of those NJCCA means. Finished second in the NJCCA West District and ranked third nationally in net efficiency. The 29 total wins were the second most in program history. Turner's also prioritized academics and player development. The 2025 squad posted a 3.46 team GPA, its third straight year. Ladies and gentlemen, let us put our hands together and give a Vincentian warm welcome to Mr. Cameron Turner.
I want to say thank you for allowing myself and my family to come out here. We're very excited. Thank you, Anthony, for connecting me with Richard. And we've been on the phone a lot trying to get this figured out. So I'm very excited to be here and to help young athletes get better and help grow the game here in your country, and then teach you guys something, and hopefully you guys can obtain scholarships to move on and reach your goals and dreams, because basketball can take you a lot of different places. It happened in my life. You know, a little bit about me. I'm from Portland, Oregon, so way other side of the country, of the United States, where it's cold and rainy all the time. So pretty much opposite of here. So I lived out there, and I started coaching. Well, in 2004, I started coaching at the high school level, and I was pretty lucky. I got to coach an NBA player. Well, it wasn't that time, but he became one. That was Kevin Love. I think he still plays for the Miami Heat, so I know he's an old timer now. But to me, he wasn't. He's still the kid I saw eating pizza with his parents, you know. But he worked really hard, and we helped develop him to go on to UCLA, and then on to get drafted. And that led my journey all over the place. Did club basketball with kids your guys' age, to play in tournaments all over the United States to get scholarships, and kind of learn how that works. So there is kind of a way it gets done, because there are kids that around the world that are very talented that maybe don't get that same opportunity than others, because you just got to maybe know the right people, go to the right tournaments, you know, how you present yourself on social media. There's a whole system, how it works, and I'll try to help you guys out with that, you know, so please ask questions. You know, and then that led me to Alaska, you know, that's even colder and different. And so I was an assistant coach up there for 7 years for the University of Alaska Anchorage. That's a Division II school, so in the NCAA. Super unique. And then my family and I want to thank my wife for allowing me to follow my dreams, so to do all this, so thank you. And so we went to Arizona, and I coached women's basketball for 5 years, and that's where I really started diving into international recruiting of kids from all over the world. I had a young lady from Brazil. She didn't know one word of English when we got her. We just heard her through word of mouth of, hey, there's a really good player. She wants to come to America. And I'm at a junior college. And if you guys don't know, a junior college is a 2-year school. So I know everybody thinks, hey, you see UConn, or you see the University of Houston, or you see the Baylor University. Those big schools are on TV. There's lots of levels that you can still obtain your goals in life. You know, I tell my players all the time, you use basketball, don't let basketball use you. So, and how you can do that is through education. So if you can maybe go to a junior college for 2 years, and then you can move on to a university, do it, you know, because you never know where it can take you. So that young lady, she came to us, we taught her English. She became the #1 player in the country for junior college, and then went on to Baylor University. And now she's on WNBA radars, and she's just from a small town in Brazil. And then she's going to reach her goals. So, and that led us to me coaching men's basketball, because I had done both. So, and I've done that last few years. And we've done very successful. I had 7 players from all over the world, from the country of Georgia to Brazil to Australia to New Zealand. I have a kid from Latvia coming, so literally all parts of the world. That's why your social media is very important to be seen, because all of us coaches use our phones all day long, and my kids can protest to that. I'm on my phone a lot. So, and us coaches are like a bunch of little schoolgirls, and we all talk to each other all the time. So if maybe I don't have a spot on my team, maybe another coach has a spot on their team. So we all talk to each other. So how you present yourself is very important. So I can't stress that enough. So, you know, basketball is a great avenue. I love the game. You know, that's one reason why I wanted to come here. I wanted to give my knowledge. I'm an open book to what you guys want from me, and I'm going to roll up my sleeves and work for you guys on whatever you need. And it really starts from the very basics. Like I work with my own daughters right now. Ball handling, you got to be able to handle the ball. You got to be able to see the floor. You got to be able to run the floor. So this last week, I've been traveling all over the country with my players. So this last week, I got to coach for like an All-American game that had the top 48 junior college players in the United States. And so I got to be one of the 4 coaches for that. And I had gone in to tell my players that, like, because everybody's good in those events. They're like, how are you going to separate yourself? And I say, separate yourself by doing the little things, because the little details matter. And I say that matters in all aspects of life. So how I did that in basketball terms is run the floor hard every time. You know, give everything you got. Don't coast. Call for the ball. Like, be over the top vocally. And I tell my teams, and I demonstrate it all the time, of like, you can't over communicate when you're on the basketball floor. Even if you're quiet and shy off the floor, you got to somehow transform your mind to be loud on the court. So I look kind of silly. I'll do it, you know, here in the next few days on how I teach it, on how to get you guys to be more vocal, because those little things will matter. So I have a young man, he's from New Zealand, and he's very good at doing those little things, and he has obtained scholarship offers to the highest level of university just on those two simple things, running the floor hard and communicating. And he's going to get a scholarship. Well, he's gotten offers now. And now there's a whole other level that you can make money in college. That's NIL money. So he's going to now make money just on those two simple things. And that doesn't take much skill other than your heart, what God gave you. So we'll go over that stuff. But, you know, I'm happy to be here. I just want to teach you guys the game, everything I got, offense, defense, and the cultural part of basketball. I think that's something that's more important than anything else. You know, it's how you interact with your teammates, how you think, you know, how you give yourself a positive view of yourself. Your self-image matters. You know, my dad would always say, no stinking thinking. So you don't have bad thoughts. So I have another young man in Australia. He's very big, 7 feet tall. But when he came to us, he always would have negative self-talk about himself. And I would get on him. Don't think negative about yourself. And now, you know, he's considered the top player in the whole country in junior college because he has changed how he viewed himself. So that's one thing you guys have to work on, is how do you view yourself matters. And because that usually corrects little things, usually make more shots or whatever. All the fun stuff on basketball court is on your self-image. So I'm so happy to be here and ready to go to work. So that's what I got.
Thank you very much, Coach Turner. We should have been having the second coach via calling him, but we're having some technical problem. But I will read you this coach bio, and then we will have Miss Barrow, who's part of that academy, will speak on behalf of. The other coach is Anthony Roy. The AR Student Athlete Soccer Scholarship Academy, which is ARSASSA, and by extension, the Anthony Roy Collegiate Placement Services, is a platform created for capacity building opportunities for aspiring student athletes, male and female, to improve and develop their passion for sports and unlock their truest potential through education, mentorship, and training. For over a decade, ARSASSA has successfully helped student athletes from the Caribbean secure athletic scholarships in North America through our vast network of coaches, colleges, and campuses and academies. At present, we have over 80 to 100 student athletes in schools across various divisions, and we provide athletic support in collegiate sports such as water polo, golf, soccer, track and field, volleyball, basketball, etc. Our aim is to add value to people's lives by offering effective, hassle-free, purpose-driven programs that enable students, athletes to develop and reach their goals and dreams in the areas of education and sports. Ladies and gentlemen, basketball players, that was Anthony Roy. You could still give him a hand of applause. So we have from St. Vincent, Miss Barrow, who's part of that academy, will speak on behalf of him. Welcome, Miss Barrow.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Well, it was the same bio I was going to read. So, but you read it for me already. All right. ARSASSA has been around for more than 10 years, and as I said, we have a good number of students that we have sent to USA. Coaches, students from Trinidad all the way to Anguilla, we've had in schools across. From St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we have been fortunate to have most of them from soccer. We have currently 3 student athletes from St. Vincent. Jadiel Chance, he's from Chumuka. He's one of our former national goalkeepers. He's currently doing his bachelor's. I think Jadiel is on, so we're going to have him speak. Then we have David Holder. He's currently at Allen Community College. David and his mom will be sharing their experience about what it's like working with AR and being a student athlete. So I'll ask them to come on in a while. And we also have Deontay Delplesh. Deontay is at Union College. We currently also have students, athletes playing in the the United States Premier League. We have 2 athletes from Trinidad. So we do partner also in your professional stands as well. So once you partner or once you are a student athlete of AR, you are definitely taken care of all the way up to when you said, hey, I think I don't want to play, I don't want to do this, and then we still bring you along as part of our program. We also do have also a mentorship program. Now, the mentorship program is really for us to start getting you ready for the last stage or collegiate stage or even the pre-professional stage, and that's really for persons between the age of 9. So take for instance, we have a lot of young players right about now. They're in tennis, they're in basketball, volleyball. If you have a youth program and you want to get your players ready to take up collegiate opportunities, we do have a mentorship program that we recently launched, and the mentorship program will prepare you for whenever that opportunity comes for you to access a collegiate scholarship, you'll be able to do that. So our mentorship program is a paid service, and we carry you through the whole process of getting your video ready, writing your written profile, developing your technical skills, preparing you for college, interview styles, all of that we do for our mentorship program as well. So what I want to do now is I want you to listen to some of our student athletes who are currently online. Davids, can you hear me? Miss Holder, can you hear me?
Yes, please, I can.
All right. Miss Holder, can you hear me? Jadiel, are you there? I can see them.
Yes, please.
All right.
Yes, please, I can hear you.
Okay. So what we'll do now, I'm sorry that you can't get to see their faces as was planned. There's Murphy's Law, whatever can go wrong, will go wrong, but you can hear them. So David, Jadiel, I want to start with you first, because you're the one, the first student athletes from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Could you walk us through your experience? Could you tell us what it was like? And currently tell us in the room what's the process of being a student athlete and what they need to prepare for, what happens when you get there, what are your future goals, and what's happening to you over there. So I'll turn it over to you, Jadiel.
Hello, good afternoon, good night, everyone. Hope everyone is doing okay. Mom, can you hear me? Okay, good. My experience in the starting was somewhat a roller coaster because I was attending the technical college at the time, and a conversation was happening in the Football Federation office, but I wasn't supposed to be in the conversation. But for some reason, I heard when Tamara Barrow asked what is your 5-year plan? But she wasn't directing the question to me. But I jump into the conversation just by asking, what do you mean by your 5-year plan? And then she explained like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? So then I responded because I had and still have a 5-year plan. So when I responded, she was like, okay, great. That's what I'm looking for. And then from there and we moved forward, we started to work together. I finished my certificate because I was doing a certificate at technical college in automotive repair technology. And from there on, I got into Blinn College. I was talking to Coach Rudy. So I got into Blinn College, and moving from St. Vincent to United States was a great experience for me, but also a culture shock because things that I'm used to here when I got there was no longer a part of me anymore. It wasn't anything that I could say, oh, I could go here and call my mom or call my aunt because it was just me and my teammates. So fortunately enough, I met a friend when I got up there, and he became someone close to me. He became someone I could turn to when I'm feeling homesick because you're going to feel homesick. Also, my mom and Tamara, they was always by my side because at that time my dad had just passed away. So I didn't have my dad at my side. So it was kind of hard at the same time moving away from family, but it was good. But I would say one thing you should always prepare yourself for when you're preparing to go overseas to study is change of environment and food, because those things are very important. Because the food that we're used to here in the Caribbean, you don't really get them in America unless you take them with you, but they only last for a certain time. So you have to prepare yourself and be mentally strong that okay, these are the foods that we're gonna have and how we're gonna prepare ourselves not to gain weight or get overweight, because if you continue eating the same stuff that they are preparing, believe you me, you will gain weight and you're probably gonna get overweight. So those are stuff that you have to be mentally strong for. Also with school, they're always saying you're a student athlete, but don't get tricked when it comes with student athletes. Some of us always forget that we're a student first before athlete because we probably have athletics training before classes. But without your education, without your proper grades, you cannot play. No matter how good of a player you are, you cannot play. So we have to pay great attention towards our school and getting our grades, staying on top of things. Also, having a good relationship with your coaches, that's also very important because you having a good understanding and a good communication with your coaches, then you could know that if I'm going wrong, my coaches will come out and say, okay, Jadiel, you're doing something wrong. I don't like it. You need to work on this to improve yourself. And they always say if your coaches don't talk to you, they don't like you and they're willing to get rid of you. Something I gain from one of my coaches. His job is to get you there, but your education will always keep you there. So for me, that was very important. Now my journey, my current stay, I'm currently at Lincoln University, Missouri, pursuing my bachelor's degree in sports management. I joined that program because I want to give back to the sport. It's something that has given me so much, so I want to give back to the sport in any way possible. And I look at it as there is only a certain amount of years that you can play whatever sport you want to play. But after that finish, what are you going to do? Do you have a degree, or do you have like a certificate to say I'm a certified coach in sports or whatsoever? So being open to coaching and stuff like that is always great for young minds because the games are evolving. So being open and up to date with whatsoever is going on is very important.
Thank you, Jadiel.
You're welcome.
Okay. we'll be open for questions, so please don't come off the stream. All right, David, can I come to you? You are one of our most recent student athletes under the AR brand. Could you talk about your journey as well? And then I would go over to your mom to talk about what parents, because there are parents in the room as well, so we would want to know that journey from the parental standpoint.
All right. Hello, everyone. Good day. My name is David Sola. I'm from Symposium Grenadines. So personally, coming to the States, it was hard for me because I'm a mommy's boy. I'm her only son. So coming up here around different people I'm not comfortable around, it was hard adapting to the styling because like back home, we play more aggressive and not really fast football, but slowish. But up here now is basically quick football. So I had to adapt to that and language barrier because for me, I still adapting because I speak broken English, but I'm learning standard English, and we learn like different languages. Like the rides are long. I'll be on bus for 6 to 9 hours traveling from games. So it helps us because you learn different things, different cultures from all over the world. But yeah, as Jadiel say, student first, the athletes after. So you have to maintain a GPA standard if you want to play. If you don't, you would sit out and that would be hard and you won't want that. For me, some of the challenges was like um as I said, I'm a mommy's boy. I miss home. And that used to affect me. You can ask Tamara. I used to call her most every night. I was crying. Some people don't know that. And I wasn't playing because at first I was favor and then an incident happened and I would drop down the picking order and it was frustrating, if you know what I mean. It was frustrating, but if you're mentally strong, you would get through it. And as I said, I have school. So I used to basically be doing schoolwork and training and things. But then again, you have to balance school and your work and football. So you have to know when to study and when not to study. Student athlete first and football after. But my major is sports medicine, so I would like to give back to St. and the Grenadines like Mr. In St. Vincent, who's two doing my major, which is Mr. Ozari and Denis Biome, I think. Yeah. So I want to walk along with them whenever I come back to St. Vincent and Grenadines. So yeah.
All right, thank you, David. Holder, can you talk to the parents that are in the room? What was the process like in that journey as you got your son ready for, he got a scholarship. Talk to us about when you get that opportunity, when a scholarship opportunity is laid on the table and they said, hey, I want your son. Can you go through the journey that you go through so other parents would know how we get you from the conversation about your son being offered a scholarship to now your son in the school playing and he's far away from you?
Good night, everyone. My name is Raquel Holder, originally from French's. Well, as he told you, he's a mommy's boy, my only child. So letting him go wasn't an easy task because every night we're on the phone and it wasn't easy because it's come the 28th of this month, it would be 1 year I'm without him. It's not easy. Going through this, it was a bit challenging because after they call and said that he has to get his visa by such and such time, it's a good thing I have a cousin that lives in Barbados. She accommodated him. And I have to say thanks to Karen Samuel at Going Places. She was the one that reached out to me in assisting me in getting the application done and the time frame that we had to work with him getting the visa. She had to be begging and beseeching, and eventually she called me one day and said, I get you. He had the appointment on the 15th of July, and he has to go to Barbados. I said, okay. I called my cousin in Barbados. She said, Raquel, it's no problem. Davis can come. I would accommodate him. I will do whatever running up and down we have to do. When he got there and everything, he went to the embassy. His appointment was around 8:30. He went to the embassy. He called, Mommy, I got you. I said, thank you, Jesus. And from after that, we got back the visa because it was getting so close to the time in which the school had given him to get there. Then now I have to now go and check for a flight. When I got the flight, when he had to leave, it was a bittersweet moment at that time. He went, when he got into Miami, he called, Mommy, I got into Miami safe. The next flight, my next connecting flight from Miami to go over into Kansas, they said the flight is on time. What was worrying to me is the length of time he had to stay in the airport in Kansas because of the way the school bus runs. So he was in the airport for the entire day. Never got to the college until in the night. That was going good. He keep calling, we checking in. And how he is a mommy's boy. I know how much he eats a lot. So every time I cook, it's like, wonder when my child is eating. So then that had me a bit worried because he would call, Mommy, what you cooking today? When I tell him, I will hear the dongness in him because he's not getting that. But he get adjusted to there. And then when it's time now for the fees, that had me because this last minute thing wasn't because of the tuition scholarship from the government. We have to be behind them 24/7. It has to go in by such and such time. The first semester they had lapse on it. I had to take the money from my pocket and send it off because I just didn't want him to drop out. He had to write his exams, and I was there with him all the way up until this present time. So as I am a parent, advising parents, once you want your children to go off, we have to have this additional savings somewhere put aside so that when this time comes around, we would be able to, even we get a little assistance from the government, we would be able to assist our kids along the way also because they may need stuff for themselves. I have to give thanks to my brother who is in Canada. When David's call him on the phone and say, Uncle, I don't have this. My brother will go all out and get it over to him. I have to say thanks to him because I don't know what I would have done without him. And I also have an adopted sister in New Jersey where he is currently at this moment spending his little summer break with them. I have to say thanks and kudos to them because they are actually his legal guardian while he is up there because I am very far away from him. So I would advise parents to have a little savings in the event of anything. I thank you.
Right, thank you very much, Ms. Holder. So we do have Anthony's now on. So Anthony, can you hear me?
Yes, TB, I'm hearing you.
All right, so I'm turning the floor over to you. I did a bit of introduction, so they know who you are. So please now now that you're on, you can continue. We had Jadiel and David's giving an overview of what it was like for the process of getting a scholarship. Now that they're there, what the student athletes, because we have a room full of, I'm sorry, you probably won't be able to see it because the screen is not working. So we have a room full of athletes as well as parents and other officials. So they will be hearing you clearly. And you talk about AR, your role, what's you're expected of the camp, and all that jazz. So I'm turning it over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, TB. Much appreciated. Greetings, good night, all protocols observed. Um, Parents, student athletes, guests, everyone that is in the forum. Richard, our guest, Coach Cameron. It's an honor to communicate with you guys tonight. My apologies for not being there. I think I'm going to get there by Friday. It's an honor to address you guys, and I'm going to dive right into it, right? It's an honor to serve the Caribbean people. It's an honor to have student athletes out of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and just about every Caribbean island. We have attending colleges and universities in the United States. Close to about 100 student athletes and more. We have about 25 leaving in the next 3 to 4 months. And we have been doing this, or I've been doing this along with TB, right? TB has joined me, I think, about 3 or 4 years now. I've been doing this for over 17 to 18 years, serving, creating opportunities for Caribbean student athletes. As you see, we are stepping into different territories. Before it was just soccer. Now we're doing 16 different sporting disciplines, and we are heading to 17 and 18 just now out in the UK. It's about changing lives. It's about creating opportunities. It's about opening up doors, using sports as a vehicle for higher education and also to a better future for our student athletes. We have different platforms in terms of working with student athletes, junior colleges, universities, NAIA schools, and it's all about serving. As you can see, Jardel is there. He's a perfect example to you guys of his development. Yes, of the training, of the development he's getting in the US in terms of his university, and not just with his soccer, but his academics too. And you can tell that he's a different person, right? And we are pulling out all the stops. We are pulling out all the stops to make sure that we can continue to serve, continue to touch lives, continue to change lives, continue to inspire, inform, educate, develop, show love, and care for our people. And this is the most important things for us to be able to serve. I'm looking forward to Friday. Touching down there, and I know Coach Richard is going to have me in a camp working with younger ones. I have a suitcase here full of things to give to those kids. I brought down a number of things for them, and I'm looking forward to that camp. Working with the younger ones, creating a pathway for them, and encourage, motivating, and uplifting the beautiful people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So, with that being said, I don't want to take too long, but it's an honor for you guys to invite me again. I think this is my third visit to St. Vincent and the Grenadines on Friday, and I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to serving. Looking forward to shaking hands, communicating, answering questions, working along with you guys in a short, medium, and long term for a better kids, and not just St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but throughout the Caribbean region, touching lives. So that being said, thanks again. Thanks, Richard, for all the hard work. Thanks, TB, for all the effort you've been putting in all these years, is reaping the rewards. And thanks for the parents too, for trusting us with your children and trusting us to work with your kids, and we living up to the standards that we set, and even raising the bar higher, right? Coach Cameron, his beautiful wife and children. Thank you guys so much for visiting. Looking forward to hanging out with you guys there, and we're doing this every year. Yes, thank you guys so much. It's an honor, and thanks again. Have a wonderful evening, all.
All right, thank you very much, Anthony. So we're just going to open the floor to Coach Turner, and also to Anthony for questions. Anybody would like, any questions do you have that we could ask? Okay.
Yeah, good day, Mr. Carter. I'm Darren, Nijan Wilshire. So I'd like to ask you a question, how hard it was to get Kevin Love into the NBA?
Well, he's kind of a unique. Is this working? I can just yell. He's kind of a unique case because his father played in the NBA for a short time, and his uncle is a Beach Boy. So you kids don't know who the Beach Boys are, but the older people probably do. So he comes from a unique background, but he was a worker. So when I moved back to Oregon from Arizona, he was a sophomore in high school, so he was 16. Before school every day, he would go shoot. So he would shoot like 1,000 shots before school. And then after school, he would lift weights. And then we would have basketball practice. So he is very dedicated to his craft. And he was consistent. He didn't take days off. And one thing that I thought was very unique is on his like school binder, he would write down his goal for his overall goal, his goal for his month, and the goal for the week. So he would see that, and he put it in his locker. So everywhere he went, he would see what his goals were. And obviously, they changed a little bit, but he always knew what the goals at hand were, so he didn't astray for something else. So his hard work and dedication got him to where he was going to be. And then because of all that hard work, he had a lot of confidence in himself. Some people say he was arrogant, but he wasn't. He just believed in himself because he put so much time in the gym. He was confident that he was going to perform when the lights came on. So that's why he didn't have those self-doubts in himself, because he put the time in when nobody's watching you. So that's what it took. So he put that time in. Yeah. Got to have more questions. Anybody got any other questions?
Suzette Jackson, President of Basketball Federation. I noted when the parents made her contribution in regard to her impact of her son being sent off to college, that she emphasized of difficulty financially in terms of tuition fee. I know when I got my scholarship back in 2003, I believe, 2003, my scholarship was a full scholarship. I went to junior college and then to a Division I university. What my question is basically, in terms of the placement and the scholarship, are there full scholarship or partial scholarship? And basically to just enlighten us of the procedure.
So every school, every sport's going to be different with that on what scholarships they can offer. So we're at Eastern Arizona, we're a Division I junior college, so we're very fortunate we can offer full athletic scholarships. So that means it covers your tuition, books, fees, housing, literally everything other than, I always make fun, than the dates you're gonna go on. You know, that's your parents and you have to afford that. Pretty much everything else is covered. But that's not always the case per sport, you know. Some sports, let's say swimming and diving, they might give partial scholarships. So this is where your academics come in, is the better student you are, that's where the coaches are going to look at. So if you're equal talent-wise, because a lot of this is just splitting hairs, so you want to give yourself a leg up. So if you're a better student than somebody else, that coach is going to take the higher student to give them the more scholarship money. And then you might be able to find more money if it's a partial scholarship. You might find other avenues to fund it, to go. So every school is different with that. Does that help?
Um,
Anthony. Right. I guess we'll have to right here.
Yeah, please repeat the question, please, TB. Appreciate it.
it's a follow-up to the It's a follow-up to the previous question. I was saying, I was referring in terms of partial scholarships, the local organizers, ARSASSA, I was basically inquiring if there any provision that in cases where athletes are awarded partial scholarship, if there's any local or any logistics in place to basically assist the athletes financially. Because we all know that it's a great burden on parents, and it's a bit challenging in terms of partial scholarships. Is there anything in place to assist in that regard?
Okay, that's a good question. That's a good question, ma'am. I know that the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they are assisting student athletes, because I have some student athletes from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and the government is assisting them, right? One of the things we also do too, we work with schools too to help kids get jobs whilst they are there. As you know, it's 20 hours a week they can work. They can't work more than that. And also to a payment plan where you don't have to pay all the money one time for school. That's some of the things we have in place, right? I think to one of the things we can do to solve that or maybe, for want of a better word, address this situation in a proper manner. I think the earlier we get these kids and start working with them, is the better we can prepare these kids for the road ahead. And very important, and we can align them with that pathway so that they can maximize their academics and their athletics. That's very important. Now, I know that that answer may not answer fully the question that you asked, because your child may be 18 or 19 or 20, but it still needs to be said that we need to start getting kids from when they're in Form 1, 11, 12, 13 to start working with them. Because Coach Cameron will tell you, the better your grades are, right, the more efficient you are at the sport that you're playing, you have a greater chance of getting more money from a school. Yes? And that's why I answer the question in that particular way. And hence the reason why we are having these camps, to enlighten, to inform, to educate, to guide, and to start working and planning. Yes, this is something we need to start doing as a people. And as I say, as a people, because I am originally from Trinidad, although I'm a US citizen, I am from Trinidad. And one of the things I see with us as a people is that, we need to emphasize more planning for the road ahead. And that is very important. We are doing it now, and I'm hoping with Richard, with what he's doing, the sponsors, the different people, that we can start doing more of these camps, bringing more coaches, more development, and more companies now can see what we are doing, and maybe they may get on board and decide to start a scholarship fund, yes, to help. But you've got to give people, and I'm speaking now from a business perspective. You've got to give people worth for their money. Someone is not just going to have new money for school because you get a scholarship. It doesn't work like that. You have to earn that kind of stuff. And it has to be on the parent side, on the student athlete side, where you have to work on your academics and your athletics. And hence the reason why I answered the question the way that I did answer it, or I answered it, because it's not something that someone is just going to hand to you. You have to earn it. And the faster we get the kids from a younger age to build them up, is the better we can prepare them and the more money they can get from schools for academics and athletics. So I hope that can help in terms of the information or the question that you're asking, ma'am.
That was I don't know if you heard when she said, that's the president of the St. Vincent Basketball Association that asked that question.
Okay, beautiful.
We also
Yes, well,
happen, excuse me?
Well, we not cutting you, TB. This is some of the organizations we really want to work with too. Madam President, nice meeting you. You are one of the persons that we want to work closely with too, who run these different organizations where we start creating a pathway for collegiate basketball. You already have someone in the NBA who played in the NBA and that kind of stuff. So that is something that kids can look up to. And Coach Cameron was talking about the work ethics of that basketball player playing in the NBA and what is required of them. And as I said, I have some athletes from St. Vincent and the Grenadines that I have in college right now, and they would tell you it's a focus, and you got to focus, and you got to zero in on what you're there for and build this thing up, because they too, like Jardel, who is on the president's role, on an honor roll student, they are setting the pace for student athletes that are coming after. And these are the kind of student athletes we have to put in the public spotlight for people to see what they're doing at college and university level. And that is where companies will start getting involved when people like Jardel, what he's doing and the light that he's shining and the hard work. And for every year being on the president's roll and the honor roll, a lot of work, a lot of studying, a lot of time management. These are the kind of student athletes we need to use as role models when we go to the corporate, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Yes, ma'am?
Any other questions? Anybody has any other questions? All right.
Hello, good evening. My name is Kevin Schott, Guardian here. One of the questions I want to ask this afternoon, what level of certification does the scholarship cover? For example, does it cover associate, bachelor's degree?
So it's going to depend on where you get the scholarship to. So it's a Division I, like, going to UConn or the University of Miami, that's Division I. It's the highest level. So, or Division II, that would be Barry University, that's in Miami. Their those scholarships are going to be probably a full ride. Then there's Division III, that's going to be mostly academic based. So it depends on where you're getting recruited to. So like I'm a junior college, Division I junior college, so I give full scholarships. Division II junior colleges only can give partial scholarships. So every level of athletics has different guidelines or rules on what academics or athletic scholarships they can give. So it's going to vary on what schools are looking at you. Junior college would be an associate's. So it's you're just there for the 2 years. So that's why my level is unique. I have to recruit high-level athletes to come in, and then I help them push them out. So I work on both sides of it. So that's why I can kind of help you guys, because I live it every day, how to work both ends of it. Say again? The cutoff, how old? They kind of always are changing that. It used to be 21, but as of right now, to my knowledge, they took away. Yeah, they keep raising it higher and higher because of lots of laws and politics. Yeah. So like I'll have a 24-year-old. He's from the country of Georgia. He started basketball like late, and literally a town of maybe 100 people. And someone just saw him and he started playing, and then he got an opportunity like to try out for a university there in his country, and then just like a guy that just helps kids, plays kids, started calling universities and colleges, and he called us. We liked him, and so he came to us last year. And so like he comes from nothing, and he got that opportunity. So it's all basically word of mouth a lot of the time, and so that's why your social media comes big play on that.
I can attest to coming from nothing, because when I got my scholarship, I had no knowledge of basketball. I was just a tall young lady. Every time I walked past Music Center, when was that me? From the age of 13, since I was in Form 2, Wayne wanted to give me a scholarship, and my mother was against it because she deemed I was too young at that age. So I told them, my mother informed them, when I'm finished with secondary school, then I can go. So I graduated in May of 2003, and by July, I was out. I could attest, it's not an easy journey, because I remember calling every day and crying, wanting to come home. But you have to be persistent, you have to be determined what you want, and you have to basically put in the effort to be successful at that. So I'm encouraging you guys to basically give up your best.
Anthony, could you just share that about the whole myth about, you know, the D1s and everything, so parents can understand that sometimes it's better to start at a junior college, get your foot in the door, and then transfer onwards up, and which is the platform that we tend to do it. So Anthony, I'm turning it over to you.
Okay, sure, TB, that's not a problem. I could add to that. There's different entry points, right? And you know, the universities may be more expensive, the colleges may be more expensive, depends on the type of scholarships you get, right? But we tend to look also to the junior college level. Why? It's a way of getting at an entry point that is not that expensive, and it's a way of, you know, working with the student athlete to get them in there, develop them as quick as possible, and then move them on to a top program, right? And that is what I've been doing for all these years. And I must say, when I have you in that environment, I work with my kids. I don't just put you in a college or a university and leave you right there. If you speak with all the kids that we have, it's right through the year, I work with you on your academics and on your athletics. You are, once I send you to school, you are responsible to me, and Jadel will tell you that. He's right there.
David is on as well.
Yeah, Jadel has to submit his grades to me. He has to communicate with me a lot on what is going on with him at college and university. And you know, keep me informed. I have the coaches too, so I would chat with them too to find out what is going on. And as I said, creating a pathway to move forward. So for instance, if you were to say, okay, I want to get my child in, but I don't have that kind of finances, you know, I think junior college is a good place to go, where you can start, where we get your grades up in the first year, where it's supposed to be. Like to give you a better example, if your child, it gets into junior college, we get him into junior college, he's doing good with his academics and his athletics, we get him into you get into the honor roll of the president's list, right? If we were to move him a year or after the 2 years to a university, a lot of those universities or colleges will give them $15,000-$20,000 just for being on the honor roll. Yes, because that's your academics there. And there's something called stacking, right? Where you can stack your academics and your athletics together with a college or a university. And that's why I'm talking about a pathway. So if you go through that pathway, it's more manageable for you, it's more palatable for you, but it all depends on the student athlete and their focus when they are entering to college or university. And TB will tell you, Jadel will tell you, before he left and when we were communicating with him, we set a pathway for him. And he can tell you that we're still working on Jadel's pathway. He's in the university now, he's doing wonderful. But we have a pathway for him. It takes discipline, commitment, perseverance, stick with itness, that kind of stuff. It's not, as the lady said just now, it has its challenges, but it's one you have to focus. You are there for academics and athletics. That's what your focus should be. And that is what I keep my student athletes in alignment with. It's not somewhere that you get carried away with, and for want of a better word, shopping and buying clothes and shoes and all this kind of, let me say the word because I'm from the Caribbean, foolishness. It's a focus. You go in there for focus because a lot of money is being put out for you by the school, by your parents, time and effort. So if you stay on that channel that we are keeping you into, that will help you to achieve your goals, and you would get that. I have kids right now who I had in junior college, and they're getting 30-something thousand dollars now a year, full scholarships, because we had that discussion. We worked together. They are on the honor list, the president's list, and that kind of stuff. And the school is giving them a whole lot of money and full scholarships because, one, they're very good with their academics and they're very good with their athletics. And that is the pathway we would take with a number of our Caribbean student athletes, but it's not the only way that we would take. Yes, I hope that answers your question.
We have a parent here who wants to ask a question.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jan Pemberton. Anyone in the room? We are in a room filled with persons who are aspiring to become great basketball players. If one does not make it to the NBA or the WNBA, what is there in place to keep them focused and keep them in the game?
To be very honest, most people will not make the NBA. Say you have to be even of all of my players, most likely they will not make the NBA. They want, that's their goal, right? You aim for the ceiling and you never know. The journey of athletics you'll still reach goals. You'll still get a degree and you never know where it can take you. Even you could go play overseas. Example, we had a player named Mike James. He went to Eastern Arizona and then he went to Lamar University, a school in Texas. Didn't quite make the NBA, but he had a very successful career in Europe. He's actually the all-time leading scorer in Europe. He's living the dream, but not in the United States, somewhere else. But we also I've had players that they'll go on, they'll get their degree, and they go have successful businesses or whatever. That's what gave them that avenue to get the degree. So that's still a success. It's just as you made the NBA or you don't make the NBA, at least that avenue got you somewhere, and you had to learn to persevere for something in your life. To reach goals, we all have to sacrifice. Every adult knows that. You have to sacrifice to reach goals in life. That's what these avenues teach us. That's what athletics teaches us. How to work together with others. How do you strive to work? How to dream. That's what athletics does. I don't know. Does that help? Does that help? No, it's just part of it.
If I may add, I'm Mr. Jimmy May. I'm the coordinator for sports and physical activity. If I may add, if you listen to the student athletes themselves, there's a reason why they emphasize on education, right? To be honest, I encourage all parents to let your children realize the first priority should be to educate themselves, right? I was fortunate to be the vice president for volleyball a few years ago, and we had an athlete, a volleyballer, that we got a scholarship for him to go to GC Foster in Jamaica. To be honest, it was very difficult to get him there. Because why? If you look at those grades, I would make the joke and would say, man, you're into agriculture, the amount of trees, if you know it. So it was very difficult. But to be honest, when he got there, I'm not his father, but I was so impressed because he started to get A's. And the change in environment and the focus now in terms of educating himself, he's now at the college. He's now at the college working with Mr. Roxel John. His name is Mr. Ronaldo Franklin. So as a parent, first and foremost, I would like for you to encourage them to focus on the education. If we be realistic, we are here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I'm sure somewhere in Africa, some child is trying to make it to the NBA as well. It's all over the world that they are trying to make it. So what would stand out is you taking the opportunity to educate yourself and to realize by educating yourself, now that is the pathway you are creating for yourself through sport. So, and the thing is, sport is it's something that we love, yes, but it can be a very temporary thing that you may pick up an injury and there goes your career. So, first and foremost, parents just encourage the children to focus on educating themselves, because the thing about education is not to make you feel as though you're better than anyone. It's not to make you feel as though, because I always said, try to be like me. I am smart because I realize I don't know it all. That is being a smart man, and not knowing it all, right? Being open mind to learn. So, and the thing about educating yourself, it helps you to know who you are as a person. So, let the focus, yes, you're gonna love the sport. Yes, you want to make it to the NBA, and to be honest, I would love to see some of you make it to the NBA. I love to see when Vincentians and when young people succeed, right? But I'm listening to Jadiel, right? And I'm so impressed because even the way he speaks, it's different to before he left, right? So I urge you to take a page out of that young man's book, you understand? And as I said, yes, the coach said, use the sport, don't let the sport use you. So the sport is actually to create a pathway for you to develop your own self. And the best way to develop yourself is by ensuring that you're educated. And then that is what is really going to cause the difference in your life. Not just the sport, because even though sometimes, and the coach can testify to this, how many NBA stars we see, they got all the money in the world, they never focus on their academics, now they are broke because they're uneducated, right? So even though with the education, the time you may come and you may make all of that money, but I always say if you don't have a purpose for money and you don't know what you're going to use it for, it will vanish and it will become nothing. So parents, the purpose should be first and foremost taking this opportunity to get your foot in and ensure that you embrace the path towards educating yourself.
All right, so I'll just hand back over to our Master of Ceremony. Thank you very much for your questions. Thank you, Coach Turner.
Thank you very much for this part of the session, which was well worth it. And I just want to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Akin John. He is one of those persons, when we send anything for him, it's always a positive response. He's one who supports Maverick basketball team any way possible he can. Thank you very much, Mr. John. And he's one of our Calico boys. So, we must thank the persons who have helped us reach thus far. I didn't expect to see so many people coming out here, and I want to give kudos to the parents and the guardians, because you show that you are in support of the sport that your child or children is participating or playing in. So let us put our hands for the parents and guardians. And I'm quite impressed to see quite a few fathers here. And it's always good when a father figure plays a role in the upkeep and upbringing of his or her son or daughter. We will now call on Miss Vidal Charles. I was so shocked when I saw Vidal coming in. I said, wow, that's what we call high-end fashion. Ladies and gentlemen, captain of the female division team, Miss Vidal Charles. And as I am sure building a suit in the male version like that.
Good night, everyone. To thank Almighty God for blessing us with health and strength and for affording us the opportunity to be present tonight in such a unique gathering. With protocols already being established, my duty here tonight is very simple and is to express thanks to personnel for their invaluable service. First, I wish to thank the Honorable Camilo Gonsalves, the area representative for Eastern George, and the Minister of Finance for his presence and reminding us that discipline and hard work pays off. Thank you, Miss May, Mr. May, the coordinator for sports and physical, for being with us. Thank you, Coach Turner, basketball team in Arizona, male basketball team. Well, you Thank you, Mr. Richard Cato, coach of the Mavrix basketball team, for your invaluable service. The president of the National Basketball Federation of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Thank you, Miss Barrow, for gracing us with your presence and empowering us. Thank you to our organizing and planning team. Thank you to our technical and support staff. Thank you, participants and audience, for your enthusiasm and high energy and collective effort for making this event not just successful, but impactful. Last but not least, I wish to thank Mr. Winfield Tanis Abbott, the Master of Ceremony, for chairing excellently and doing a wonderful job. As we reflect on this event, let us carry forward the spirit of today's gathering as we continue to grow and impact. Again, I say thank you, thank you, thank you, and may God continue to bless us all.
Only speaks well as also. Put your hands together once more. And I am also the secretary for the Maverick basketball team. Sometimes they don't see me, but I work well behind the scene. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for coming in. Let me just, we have snacks and so on the outside. And so because the hotel is not the one who prepared the snacks for us, so we have to be responsible for everything that happens here. It will not be the cost of the hotel, but of Mavrix. So there will be snacks on the outside. There will be no eating at all whatsoever in their conference room. This is plush carpet they have on the floor, and Mavrix has no money to dry clean it. So we are presently, the snacks came not in boxes, so we are presently doing that on the outside. So it's more what we will call in Vinci grab and go. Yes. And we have one of our players. I think he took part in this year Raga or Soca Monarch. You didn't sing this year, but you're coming up here to sing tonight. Okay. So, Mr. Kamali John, I tell you, we are very good, you know. We have a pastor in the making. We have the next female prime minister, the possibility of being the first female prime minister, and we have the next soca raga monarch for 2026. Will come here and sing one of his songs. And they say, when you speak the word, it happens. So put your hands together for Mr. Duran, and then he brings the curtain down on this exercise. And thank you, and give yourself a big Calico clap, because Mavrix is out of Calico. And thanks to Coach Turner, and I hope that you're right next to the beach. Make use of the beach. And we are friendly people that you are around. Enjoy all the lovely restaurants and so forth. And don't make this be your only visit. We hope to see you in December, January again, when it's very, very cold. And the song is PG-16, huh? So your daughters can sit and listen.
Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Right. I know all you're tired. So I will make this quick and sing one song, and then all you could eat and all you could go home. Because I know I love eat, especially there's one in the back. There's one. Seeing it down there. All right, cool. So on the paper it says my name is Kamali Durant, but right now, as of this moment, my name is 6'10". 6'10" is for the height, not for the time. Don't get it wrong, get it right. My name is 6'10" for the height. You see how tall? Coach, you think I got to get a scholarship 5 years ago? Just from the height? Oh, you would be impressed, trust me. I'm a former ranked #1 player, 3-on-3 basketball for Simmons and the Grenadines. Right? Before I begin, though, I would just like to... Mr. Richard Cato, could you take a stand for me, please? I would like everybody to just give this man a round of applause. He has been a pillar for basketball. A standing ovation, matter of fact. Yes. He has been a pillar for basketball. He has been more than just a coach to me. He has been a friend. Sometimes a father gives advice. And I just want to thank you for everything that you have done for me and for the sport and for Calico. Thank you. All right, so this part of the program is I'm going to share what St. Vincent is really known for throughout the entire world, and that's for our carnival. All right? So my song depicts what people have to do during carnival time. So DJ, run that for me. Thank you. Wait from the top. Y'all could hear it? We on it again. You could do somebody volume. I love to masquerade, party hard until the rain comes. My escape. Yes, thank you. Six. 10. We on it again. I love to masquerade, party hard until the rain come. My escape is of this sweet song. Oh yes, I feel so free. Put my mind at ease. Good vibes and energy. I don't care. I don't play. Every festival. I don't care. Now watch we. Winding down, jam to the ground. Oh gosh, good vibes and fun. Cups up, we drink and jump. Sun coulda shine and the rain coulda come. Nothing at all coulda bring we down. We gon' bust the bar and still warm rungs with this party hard with the life of the crowd. I don't care. I don't play. I tell you the party nice. I tell you it full of masquerade. Party hard until the rain come. My escape is dun 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 of this sweet song. Oh yes, I feel so free. Put my mind at ease. Good vibes and energy. I don't care. I don't play. I don't care. Come in the jam, woman to man. Now watch me. Party body at the jam then start. Y'all pushing my bumper hard. Coulda sun, coulda rain, we still playing we mass. Every second, every minute of the hours when I'm past. Hands up now and rock to the beat. Everybody up on their feet. Oh yeah. This is how good vibes feel. Energy and bass give me sounds of steel. I don't care. I don't play. I tell you the party nice. I tell you it. Masquerade, party hard until the rain come. My escape is dun 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 of this sweet song. Oh yes, I feel so free. Put my mind at ease. Good vibes and energy. I don't care. I don't play. I don't care. I'll do my music, why?
So we experienced some technical difficulties, huh? Let me finish.
Masquerade, party hard until the rain come. My escape is dun 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 of this sweet song. Oh yes, I feel so free. I don't care. Masquerade, party hard until the rain come. My escape is dun 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 of this sweet song. Oh yes, I feel so free. Put my mind at ease. Good vibes and energy. I don't care. I don't play. I don't care. I don't play.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kimani, for that. One of the things we did not remember that all what is happening here today can only happen because Mavrix has no money, we are broke, not a red cent we have, and we would have had to receive sponsorship for what is happening. So I'll take this opportunity to thank Facey, Ultratech, Massey Stores, Rubis, Holiday Global Distributors, St. Vincent and the Grenadines Port Authority, ECGC, the water that you will be drinking from tomorrow, Beachcombers Hotel, National Lotteries Authority, the government and people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Coca-Cola, LM's Jewelry, Big Tigers Auto, and Top Smiles Dental Clinic. So to you, corporate sponsors, we say a big, huge, gigantic thank you for collaborating with us in realizing this international basketball camp put on by the Maverick basketball team. And we have the lovely summer, and we're now into summer because it's very hot outside. and she will make 2 presentations, one to the coach who's sitting in front of us, and Miss Barrow will accept on behalf of the other coach. So the coach who's overseas that is not here yet will receive his plaque first, and the one who's here with us will enjoy and receive the second plaque. So ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Summer plays basketball she's on the female team, and she's doing well academically as well. Her academics, her grades are good, she's passing, she's at her best. So this is a scholarship soon.
Hello. I wanted to do 2 paintings for thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to come down here to teach us and to guide us in the near future. These are the paintings I did for you guys.
So that's the next scholarship going like this.
These are the 2 paintings I did. One is of our coach in Calico, and you can see a player wearing our national colors of the flag, blue, yellow, green. And the other one is of a seascape, because Simmons, we have very nice beaches and sunset. So this is us on the fishing boats.
So coach, you should watch me, right?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we take a picture?
Yeah.
Put your hands together one more time. This is how we do it in Calico. Mavrix is a Calico team, born in Calico, birthed in Calico, and will remain in Calico. And I will reiterate that Calico is the hub and the home of and for basketball. Let me hear you clap for that. Madam President, you're part of Calico. That's why we love you. So ladies and gentlemen, that brings the curtain down. Thank you very much. It was really, you know, it's so funny. I should have been traveling right now to the Dominican Republic and the Bahamas for meetings. But I choose to stay here because I don't play basketball. I can play basketball, but I don't play. And I'm a better shooter than almost every basketballer in this room. That is a fact. And it was really a pleasure for me being here. And Mr. John, thank you for coming here on your busy schedule. Coach, Foster Hannibal, we love you, the parents. It shows that you are with Mavrix, and there are bigger things in store for your children. Keep them with Mavrix basketball team. And Ms. Barrow, thank you for your invaluable help, and we really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. You will go out, you will eat your belly full, drink your heart out, but make sure you leave the place clean. Mavrix don't have any money for people clean up. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I just want to say on behalf of AR, thank you very much for being here, all the parents, those who got the last minute invites, but they're still here. Again, you know, we've been trying to do this for so long, so let us secure it. Mr. Martin, we've been trying to do this for so long, so I made sure that you guys were here. Let's concrete some stuff for next year so that this year we'll be sending out our first basketball student athletes, and then next year hopefully we'll be sending out our first sets of volleyball. So we're looking forward to that. And again, Richard, no, I really, guys, I hope we're in live. Oh God, everybody see me great. Jesus is Lord. But no, Richard, like seriously, I really want to say that I couldn't envision that this would have been the end of the night, and I'm so proud to be part of it. But Richard was on me from day one. I want this done, and to see in less than a year in 8 months, we got this executed. I mean, we didn't have beachcombers. Or I just said, hey, normally when we come, we do a seminar, we meet with the parents, and he blew it out of the water to me, and I said, listen, I can't you anywhere going here because you have plenty style. So thank you very much, Richard, and thank you for choosing AR. And we're so happy to have all of you others. And guys, I'm expecting your best student athletes. I am expecting your best from tomorrow. Come with your A game, all right? Please, I want 5. I'm aiming, Coach Turner, I'm aiming for 5 of our athletes coming to your school for fall. Spring, whenever we're ready, and they're coming first from Mavrix, all right?